The champagne flute hits Ariaze's shoulder before she even registers movement. Crystal explodes. Expensive Dom Perignon soaks her black evening gown. She stumbles backward into the charity auction display. A jade sculpture worth $50,000 crashes to the marble floor, shattering into irreparable pieces. For 3 seconds, the entire Grand Millennium Hotel ballroom goes silent. 500 Seoul elites in Dior gowns and Tom Ford suits turn to stare. Ariaze looks up from the floor, champagne dripping down her face, blood trickling from where Crystal cut her collarbone. And there he is, Damon Carter, her ex-fiancé, the man who stole everything from her 3 years ago, the man who left her homeless and pregnant in Lagos, the father of the baby she lost from starvation 2 weeks after he disappeared with her life savings. "Stay away from me, you desperate stalker," Damon snarls, loud enough for the entire ballroom to hear. His new fiancée, some Korean socialite dripping in Cartier diamonds, clings to his arm, her face twisted with disgust. Damon has no idea who Ariaze is anymore. No idea that the poor Nigerian ex who begged him not to leave, who cried with $17 to her name, who lost their baby alone in a charity hospital ward, is gone, rebuilt, transformed. He has no idea about the platinum wedding band hidden under her opera-length gloves, no idea about the Hannam-dong private estate she left from this morning, no idea about the black American Express card in her Hermes clutch. And Damon definitely has no idea about the man whose hotel he's standing in right now, the man whose charity gala this is, the man whose wife he just assaulted. Park Ji-won, heir to the Park luxury hotel empire, owner of 17 five-star properties across Asia, Seoul's most powerful hospitality mogul, her husband of 6 months, who is currently watching from the second-floor VIP balcony with an expression that promises absolute destruction. As hotel security rushes forward and Ariaze's trembling hands touch the blood on her collarbone, she watches realization start creeping across the event coordinator's face, the woman who knows exactly who Mrs. Park is. Damon just assaulted the owner's wife. In approximately 4 minutes, when Ji-won descends those stairs, Damon Carter is going to learn a lesson about consequences that will destroy his entire world. But he doesn't know it yet. Right now, in this moment suspended in champagne and shattered crystal, he still thinks she's nothing. That's about to change. Welcome to Soul Heart Stories, fam. Real question. Have you ever wanted revenge on someone who destroyed you? Drop it in the comments. And if toxic exes getting demolished by powerful husbands is your thing, smash that like and subscribe. This gets brutal. Let's go. Security guards surround them. The music has stopped. 500 people watch with their phones out, recording everything. Damon turns to the head of security, his voice loud and authoritative. "That woman is my stalker. She's been harassing me for years across multiple countries. I want her removed from this event immediately." Rachel, his fiancée, steps forward with manufactured concern. "I can't believe she tracked you all the way to Seoul. How did she even get invited to an event like this? The tickets were $10,000 each." Ariaze is still on the floor, her torn dress revealing the cut on her collarbone, blood mixing with champagne. She stays silent, because speaking right now would give Damon power, and she learned 3 years ago never to give him power again. "Ma'am, are you all right?" One of the security guards extends a hand to help her up. She takes it, rising with as much dignity as she can manage. Her legs are shaking. Damon continues his performance for the growing crowd. 3 years ago, this woman became obsessed with me. She claimed to be pregnant, a complete fabrication to trap me into marriage. When I refused to be manipulated, she stalked me, showed up at my work, called my family. I had to get a restraining order. Every word is a lie, every syllable a knife twisted into wounds that never fully healed. The event coordinator approaches nervously. "Sir, I think there's been a misunderstanding." "No misunderstanding," Damon interrupts, his confidence absolute. "This woman is mentally unstable. She needs to be escorted out before she causes more damage. I'll be billing her for that destroyed sculpture, by the way." Then the crowd parts, like the Red Sea, because Park Ji-won is walking down the marble staircase from the VIP level, and when Park Ji-won moves, people get out of his way. He's in an immaculate black Tom Ford tuxedo, his dark hair styled perfectly, his expression carved from stone. 6 of his personal security follow him, all armed, all wearing the same cold expression. The ballroom's energy shifts immediately. This is his kingdom, his hotel, his event, and everyone knows it. Ji-won walks directly to Ariase, doesn't look at Damon, doesn't acknowledge security or the crowd, or the 500 phone cameras recording, just goes to his wife, his hands cupping her face with devastating gentleness. "Are you hurt?" He speaks in English first, then switches to Korean, addressing his staff. His thumb traces the cut on her collarbone, and Ariase watches his jaw clench with barely contained fury. "I'm okay. Ji-won, please don't." "Excuse me," Damon interrupts, his tone annoyed. "Who are you? This is a private matter between me and my former—" Ji-won finally turns to look at him. The temperature in the ballroom drops 10 degrees. "My name is Park Ji-won. I own this hotel. I organized this charity gala. I sent 500 invitations to Seoul's most influential people." His voice is eerily calm, which somehow makes it more terrifying. "And the woman you just assaulted is my wife." Dead silence. Absolute. Complete. Rachel gasps, her hand flying to her mouth. She steps away from Damon instinctively. Damon's face goes white, then red, then white again. "Wife? That's impossible. She's nobody. She's just a—" "Finish that sentence," Ji-won says quietly, taking one step toward Damon, "and I will have you arrested for assault, slander, defamation, and trespassing on private property. Choose your next words very, very carefully." Security surrounds Damon now, but they're not helping him. They're containing him. Ji-won addresses his head of security in rapid Korean. The man nods, speaking into his radio. Then Ji-won switches back to English, his voice loud enough for the entire ballroom to hear. "Everyone in this room just witnessed this man throw a glass at my wife, causing her physical injury and destroying hotel property. The incident has been recorded on 17 different security cameras." He looks directly at Damon. "You have 2 choices. You can remain here while we call the police and press charges, or you can wait in a private room while I decide what to do with you. Choose." Damon's lawyer instincts kick in. "This is an overreaction. It was an accident. The glass slipped." "The glass slipped?" Ji-won's laugh is cold. "Should we review the security footage right now? On the ballroom screens? Show everyone how the glass slipped from your hand in a throwing motion." Sweat beads on Damon's forehead. Ji-won turns to Ariase, his expression softening completely. "We're going upstairs. The hotel doctor is on her way." He lifts her into his arms like she weighs nothing, cradling her against his chest. Blood from her collarbone stains his white shirt. He doesn't care. To security, in Korean, "Hold him. No one leaves. I want statements from every witness. Call the police and get me every second of footage from tonight." To Damon, in English, "You have assaulted the wrong woman in the wrong hotel. I'll deal with you shortly." He carries Ariase toward the elevators, his security team clearing the path. Behind them, the ballroom erupts in whispers. 500 phones are uploading videos to social media in real time. Within minutes, this will be everywhere. And as the elevator doors close on them, Ariase sees Damon's face one more time. The confident mask has cracked. He's starting to understand that he made a catastrophic mistake. But he still doesn't know the half of it. He doesn't know about Lagos, about the pregnancy, about the money he stole, about the baby that died because he left her with nothing. He's about to learn, and the education will cost him everything. The private suite above the hotel is pure luxury. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Han River, original artwork on the walls, furniture that costs more than most people's cars. Ji-won sets Adaze on the leather sofa with such care, like she's made of glass. The hotel doctor arrives within minutes, a Korean woman in her 50s with gentle hands and a professional demeanor. She cleans the cut on Adaze's collarbone. It's not deep, won't need stitches, but it's going to bruise. The champagne has ruined her dress. Her hair is a mess. She's shaking. Ji-won paces the room like a caged tiger. He's made 3 phone calls already, all in rapid Korean. His team is mobilizing. Whatever he's planning, it's already in motion. When the doctor finishes and leaves, Ji-won kneels in front of Adaze, taking her hands. Tell me everything about him, about what he did to you, the truth this time, all of it. She's never told him the full story, just the basics. Abusive ex, hard past, rebuilt her life, moved to Seoul for a fresh start. But she never told him about Lagos, about the pregnancy, about living in her car, about the baby. Now, sitting in this luxury suite with blood on her dress and her husband's eyes burning with a fury she's never seen, she tells him everything. 3 years ago, she was 26, working 2 jobs in Lagos, teaching English at a private school during the day, waitressing at an high-end restaurant at night. She was supporting Damon while he built his startup, a consulting firm that was going to revolutionize something or other. He was always pitching, always networking, always promising that success was just around the corner. She paid for everything, their apartment in Victoria Island, the car he drove, his designer suits for meetings, his gym membership, his phone bill, everything. Because she loved him, because he promised they were building a future together, because he told her she was his partner, his foundation, his everything. Then she got pregnant. Unplanned, but not unwanted. She was terrified. They weren't married, weren't financially stable, weren't ready. But she was also hopeful. Maybe this would be the thing that made them a real family. Damon seemed happy at first, went to the first doctor's appointment, talked about baby names, let her buy tiny clothes and paint the corner of their bedroom that would become a nursery. Then, when she was 4 months along, starting to show, unable to hide it anymore, he disappeared. She came home from work one day and he was gone, completely. His clothes, his laptop, his toiletries, all gone. The joint bank account they shared, the one with her savings, was empty. $43,000. Gone. Money she'd saved for years of working 2 jobs. Money that was supposed to buy them a house someday. He left a note. She still remembers every word. Adaze, I can't be trapped by a desperate woman and her anchor baby. You got pregnant on purpose to force me into marriage. I'm not going to let you ruin my life. Don't try to find me. Move on. Good luck with your situation. Your situation. Like their baby was a problem to be solved instead of a life to be cherished. She lost everything in 2 weeks. Couldn't pay rent without his half, lost the apartment. Her landlord kept her security deposit, lost her teaching job because she missed 3 days trying to sort out the financial disaster, and the school had a strict attendance policy. Lost her waitressing job because she was pregnant and no longer fit the aesthetic the restaurant wanted. 4 months pregnant, homeless, broke, alone. She lived in her car for 3 weeks, a beat-up Toyota that barely ran, parked in different places every night so police wouldn't hassle her. She tried to eat, tried to take care of herself and the baby, but with no money, no job, no support, she was surviving on 1 meal a day, sometimes less. The stress was crushing, the fear was constant, and her body started giving out. She woke up one morning in a pool of blood. The baby was gone at 17 weeks and 4 days. A little girl. She held her for 3 minutes in the hospital before they took her away. She was so small. Tiny fingers. Damon's nose. The doctors said malnourishment and stress were contributing factors. Adeze heard, "You killed your baby by being poor." She spent 2 days in a charity hospital ward, then was discharged with pamphlets about grief counseling she couldn't afford and birth control she didn't need, because who would ever want her now? For a month, she wanted to die, seriously considered it, had the pills, wrote the note. But then she got angry instead, burning, righteous anger, transformative anger. She decided Damon Carter didn't get to destroy her. He'd taken her money, her baby, her dignity. He didn't get her life, too. She worked 3 jobs, slept 4 hours a night, saved every penny, applied for teaching positions internationally. When the offer came from an international school in Seoul, teaching English to Korean students, she took it without hesitation, sold everything she owned, bought a one-way ticket. Seoul was supposed to be a fresh start, a place where no one knew her story, where she could rebuild without the ghosts of Lagos following her. And then, 6 months after arriving, she met Park Ji-won. His nephew was one of her students. Ji-won came to a parent-teacher conference standing in for his busy brother. He was wearing a suit that probably cost more than her monthly salary, but he listened to her talk about his nephew's progress with genuine interest, asked thoughtful questions, made her laugh. At the end of the conference, he asked her to dinner. She said no. She wasn't ready, wasn't healed, wasn't whole enough for someone like him. He didn't push, just smiled and said, "When you're ready, I'll still be interested." 3 months later, she ran into him at a coffee shop. He was reading a book in English, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. When she commented on it, he admitted he was reading Nigerian authors to understand her culture better. He'd been waiting, hoping. She agreed to dinner, then another, then another. He fell first, fell hard, told her within 2 months that he loved her, proposed after 6 months of dating. "I know you've been hurt," he said, kneeling in his penthouse with a ring that cost more than her yearly salary. "I know you're scared. I know you think people leave, but I'm not going anywhere. Marry me. Let me spend every day proving that I'm not him." She said yes, because Park Ji-won made her feel safe, cherished, whole, because he looked at her like she was precious instead of broken. They married quietly. Small ceremony. His family, a few friends. She didn't tell him about Lagos, about Damon, about the baby she'd lost. Just said she'd had a difficult relationship before, that she'd moved to Seoul for a fresh start. He didn't push for details, respected her privacy, loved her anyway. For 6 months, they've been married, happy, building a life. She teaches part-time now, doesn't need the money, but loves the work. He runs his hotel empire. They have dinner together every night. He brings her coffee in bed every morning. He's learning Igbo phrases to surprise her. He's everything Damon wasn't. And tonight, at the charity gala in his hotel, her past crashed into her present with the champagne flute and her ex-fiancé's cruel eyes. By the time Adeze finishes talking, she's crying. Ji-won is kneeling in front of her, tears streaming down his face too, his hands gripping hers like if you lets go, she'll disappear. "Why didn't you tell me?" His voice is raw, broken. "Because I rebuilt myself. I didn't want to be defined by what he took from me. I wanted to be the woman you fell in love with, not the woman he destroyed." "You are the woman I fell in love with, the survivor, the fighter, the one who refused to stay broken." He stands, pulling her into his arms. "But you should have told me. I would have protected you from this, from him, from ever having to see him again." "You can't protect me from the past." "No, but I can make damn sure he regrets what he did to you." Ji-won pulls back, his expression hardening. "That man stole from you, abandoned you, caused you to lose your child, and tonight he assaulted you in public. There is no universe where he walks away from this without consequences." "What are you going to do?" That dangerous smile, the one that reminds her he's not just a hotel mogul. He's a man with power, connections, resources, a man who protects what's his with absolute ruthlessness. "I'm going to give him exactly what he deserves. Ruin, complete and total ruin." Within 30 minutes, Ji-won has a complete file on Damon Carner. His team is efficient, thorough, terrifying in their competence. Damon Carter, age 32, American citizen, works for Westridge International Consulting, currently in Seoul negotiating a contract expansion with a major Korean tech company. Salary $275,000 annually. Engaged to Rachel Kim, daughter of Kim Tae-young, CEO of Daehan Technologies. Wedding planned for 3 months from now at the Sheila Hotel, high-profile society event. But that's just the surface. Ji-won's team digs deeper. Bank records show a pattern. Large deposits from multiple women over the past 8 years. Michelle Santos, San Francisco, $45,000. Yuki Tanaka, Tokyo, $67,000. Sophia Mendez, Sao Paulo, $52,000. Adeoze Okafor, Lagos, $43,000. 4 women, $207,000 stolen total. He's done this before, Ji-won says, his voice cold. You weren't the first. You weren't even the last. Adeoze stares at the files spread across his desk, photos of other women, their stories, their losses, all following the same pattern. Charm them, move in, let them pay for everything, take their savings, disappear. He's a predator, she whispers. Yes, and predators need to be stopped. Ji-won makes a call, speaks in Korean for 10 minutes. When he hangs up, he looks at Adeoze with grim satisfaction. Tomorrow morning, Rachel Kim will receive a file containing everything we just learned. Bank statements, testimonies from the other women, your story, all of it. Why tell her? Because she deserves to know who she's marrying, and because her father is the one offering Damon that lucrative contract. When Kim Tae-young learns his future son-in-law is a con artist, that contract disappears, and without that contract, Damon has no reason to be in Korea. Adeoze should feel guilty, should protest, should tell him this is too much. But looking at those files, at the faces of 4 other women Damon destroyed, she feels only cold certainty. He needs to be stopped, before he does this to Rachel, before there's a 5th victim. There's one more thing, Ji-won says quietly. He pulls up a photo on his tablet. Rachel Kim at a charity event last week. And even in the photo, even across the digital distance, Adeoze recognizes something in her posture, the way she holds her stomach, the exhaustion in her eyes. She's pregnant, Adeoze breathes. Ji-won nods grimly. My brother mentioned something yesterday. Rachel posted a vague message about reconsidering her future and thinking about what's best for her life. The exact phrasing seemed odd. That's what I said, Adeoze whispers, when I found out I was pregnant with his baby. Those exact words. Their eyes meet. The implications are staggering. He's doing it again, Ji-won says. In real time, right now. He's about to abandon another pregnant woman. We have to warn her. We will, but first I'm going to make sure he can't run this time. That night, Adeoze can't sleep. She lies in their bed in the Hannam-dong estate, staring at the ceiling, thinking about Rachel Kim, a woman she's never met, her ex-fiancé's new victim, pregnant, unsuspecting, about to have her life destroyed. If Adeoze does nothing, in 3 months, Rachel will be where she was, alone, broke, possibly losing a baby from stress. History repeating, the cycle continuing, unless they stop it. At 3 a.m., her phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. This is Rachel Kim. We need to talk, please. Adeoze stares at the message. Ji-won stirs beside her. What is it? She knows. Rachel knows. The next morning, they meet at a private room in the Grand Millennium Hotel. Ji-won insisted on neutral, safe territory. His security team is present, but discreet. Rachel Kim arrives looking exhausted, elegant even in distress, wearing a simple dress, minimal makeup, expensive jewelry, but her eyes are red from crying, and her hand unconsciously rests on her flat stomach in a gesture Adeoze knows intimately.
Protection. Prayer. Fear. Thank you for meeting me, Rachel says in perfect English. She sits across from Adese, not looking at Jiwon. I received a file this morning. About Damon. About you. About 3 other women. I didn't ask my husband to send it, Adese says quietly. But I'm not sorry you know. Is it true? All of it? Yes. Rachel's composure cracks. Tears spill over. He told me you were his crazy stalker ex, that you made up a pregnancy to trap him. He said you were mentally ill and dangerous. I was none of those things. I was just a woman who loved him and trusted him, and he destroyed me for it. The baby, did you really? Rachel can't finish. I lost my daughter at 17 weeks, in a hospital charity ward, alone, because Damon stole everything from me and left me homeless. Adese's voice is steady. She's told this story twice now in 24 hours. Each time it gets slightly easier. Malnutrition and stress. That's what the doctor said. I starved and she died. Rachel is sobbing now. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. You didn't know. But I should have. I should have questioned his story. Should have wondered why an obsessed ex would show up at our event. Should have seen. She stops. Takes a shaking breath. I'm pregnant. Adese already knew, but hearing it confirmed still hits like a physical blow. How far along? 7 weeks. I just found out 3 days ago. Rachel looks up, her eyes desperate. He told me to consider my options, said this was bad timing with his career, suggested I should terminate. We're engaged. We're supposed to get married in 3 months, and he wants me to get rid of our baby. The pattern, the exact same pattern. He's going to leave you, Adese says gently. That's what he does. He stays long enough to take what he wants, money, connections, status. Then when you become inconvenient, he disappears. The pregnancy makes you inconvenient. But my father is giving him a consulting contract worth millions. And your father just learned this morning who Damon really is. That contract will be canceled by noon today. Rachel goes pale. Then Damon has no reason to stay with me. No, he'll do exactly what he did to me, and to Michelle, and to Yuki, and to Sophia. He'll take whatever he can get from you, and then he'll vanish. Unless we stop him first, Jiwon says quietly. Both women look at him. What are you suggesting? Rachel asks. I'm suggesting you have resources, connections, and power that Adese didn't have 3 years ago. Your father is one of the most influential CEOs in Korea. You have the ability to make sure Damon Carter faces actual consequences for his actions. He slides a folder across the table. This is everything we've compiled. Financial records, testimonies, evidence of fraud, theft, and a pattern of exploitation. Enough to have him arrested and prosecuted. Rachel stares at the folder like it's a weapon, which it is. My father will destroy him, she whispers. Completely. Yes, he will. The question is, do you want him to? Rachel's hand moves to her stomach again, that protective gesture, and Adese sees the moment she makes the choice, the moment survival instinct overrides any lingering feelings for a man who never loved her. I want my baby to be safe. I want to make sure Damon never does this to another woman, and I want justice for Adese, for Michelle, Yuki, and Sophia, for all of us. She opens the folder, starts reading, and as she reads, her expression transforms from heartbreak to fury. The destruction of Damon Carter takes 48 hours. Jiwon orchestrates it like a symphony, every movement precise, every note perfectly timed. Hour 1. Rachel breaks her engagement, posts on social media with receipts, screenshots of his "consider your options" text, bank statements showing his financial exploitation pattern, a simple statement. I was almost victim number 5. Thank you to the women who came before me for warning me in time.
The post goes viral immediately, 17 million views in 3 hours. Hour 6, Rachel's father cancels Damon's consulting contract, releases a public statement citing character concerns incompatible with our company values. The contract was worth $2.5 million annually. Gone. Hour 12, Damon's employer, Westridge International Consulting, places him on immediate suspension pending investigation. The viral post has made headlines. Clients are asking questions. Liability concerns are raised. Hour 18. Michelle, Yuki, and Sophia go public with their stories. 3 women across 3 countries, all with the same tale. Charmed by Damon Carter, financially exploited, abandoned. A pattern spanning 8 years. Hour 24. Criminal investigation opens in the United States for wire fraud and theft. Interpol is notified. Damon's bank accounts are frozen pending investigation. Hour 36. Westridge fires Damon via email. The termination letter leaks online. Effective immediately due to conduct incompatible with firm values and potential criminal activity. Hour 48. Damon Carter is deported from South Korea. His visa is revoked for assault charges from the charity gala incident. He's escorted to the airport by immigration officials and put on a flight to Los Angeles. Jiwon monitors everything from his office. Advocacy watches the news coverage cycle through headlines. American con artist exposed. Serial exploiter faces justice. 5 women take down their abuser. Her face is in some of the articles. Her story told and retold. It should feel invasive, violating. Instead, it feels like release. How do you feel? Jiwon asks, standing beside her as they watch Damon's perp walk through Incheon Airport play on the news. Empty, she admits. I thought revenge would feel better, but I just feel tired. Because revenge isn't about feeling better, it's about justice, and justice is exhausting. Those other women, seeing their faces, hearing their stories, her voice cracks. I wasn't special, I was just another mark. To him, yes, but you are special. You survived, you rebuilt, and you saved Rachel from becoming victim number 5. That's extraordinary. 3 days later, Jiwon arranges a private meeting at the Grand Millennium, a corner suite with views of the Han River, comfortable furniture, privacy, safety. Michelle Santos flies in from San Francisco, $45,000 stolen, left homeless for 2 months, rebuilt her life as a software engineer, now 31, still single, still scared to trust. Yuki Tanaka from Tokyo, $67,000 stolen, had to move back with her parents at age 28, humiliated, broken. Now 34, working as a translator, living alone. Sophia Mendez from Sao Paulo, $52,000 stolen, lost her startup business, declared bankruptcy. Now 33, working corporate finance, successful again, but guarded. And Rachel Kim, 7 weeks pregnant, engaged 3 days ago, single now, fighting for her future and her baby's future. 5 women, 1 predator. Different continents, different circumstances, same devastating pattern. They sit in a circle and share their stories. Really share them, not the headlines or the social media posts, the raw truth, the nights crying in cars, the shame of being conned, the self-blame, the fear that they'd never be whole again. Michelle talks about the 2 years she couldn't date because she didn't trust her judgment. Yuki talks about the panic attacks whenever men complimented her. Sophia talks about the eating disorder she developed from stress. Rachel talks about the abortion appointment she almost made before learning the truth about Damon. And Adeze talks about her daughter, the baby she held for 3 minutes, the weight of wondering if she'd failed her, the guilt that took 2 years to release. They cry together, rage together, heal together. Then Jiwon enters with his legal team. Damon Carter stole from each of you, he says without preamble.
I've seized his liquid assets through legal channels. After legal fees and court costs, there's $243,000 remaining. He slides 5 checks across the table. Full restitution plus 10% interest. The women stare at the checks, made out in their names, money they never thought they'd see again. "This is real?" Michelle whispers. "This is justice," Ji-won corrects, "but money isn't enough." He presents a proposal, a foundation, funded initially with $5 million from the Park family estate, additional funding from seized assets, and ongoing donations. Mission: support victims of financial abuse, exploitation, and intimate partner fraud. Services: financial literacy programs, legal aid, emergency housing, job training, counseling. Everything the 5 of them needed 3 years ago and didn't have. "We need a name," Yuki says quietly. Adeze looks at Rachel, at her hand on her pregnant belly, at the baby who will survive because women warned each other, because the cycle broke. "Second chances," Adeze says. "We give women the second chance we had to fight for alone." Rachel smiles through tears. Second Chances Fund. They vote. It's unanimous. And sitting in that hotel suite overlooking Seoul, 5 women who could have been enemies become sisters, united by shared trauma, bonded by survival, committed to making sure no other woman suffers what they did. 1 week later, Damon calls Adeze from Los Angeles. She's at the foundation office, a temporary space in the Grand Millennium while they search for permanent headquarters. She almost doesn't answer, but something makes her pick up. "Hello?" "You destroyed my life." His voice is hollow, broken. "No, you destroyed your own life. I just made sure there were consequences." "I lost everything. My job, my fiancé, my reputation, my money. I'm facing criminal charges. I might go to prison." "Good." Silence. "How can you be so cold?" Damon's voice rises. "I loved you once." "You never loved me. You used me. You left me to die. You killed our baby through your selfishness, and you felt nothing." "I didn't know you'd lose the baby." "You didn't want to know. That's worse." Her voice is steel. "You left me homeless and pregnant and broke. You stole every penny I had. You disappeared without a word. What did you think would happen?" Long silence. Then, quieter. "I'm sorry about the baby. I swear I didn't know." "You're not sorry you did it. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference." "What do you want from me? What will make this stop?" "Nothing. This isn't about you anymore. It's about making sure you never hurt another woman again, and it's about building something bigger than your destruction." "What are you talking about?" "You tried to destroy 5 women. Instead, you gave us each other, and we're building a foundation to help thousands more. Your legacy isn't going to be the money you stole or the lives you ruined. It's going to be the movement you accidentally created. Women protecting women, survivors becoming advocates." He can hear him breathing, processing. "So thank you, Damon, for being so predictably awful that we made a pattern we could track, for being so arrogant that you didn't hide your crimes, for being exactly who you've always been. You gave us a purpose." She hangs up, blocks his number. Final closure. That night, Adeze and Ji-won sit on their estate terrace under the stars. Seoul glitters below them, endless lights stretching to the horizon. "Do you regret it?" he asks quietly. "Everything that happened, the exposure, the public story?" She thinks about the past 2 weeks, the gala assault captured on video and watched by 40 million people, her story splashing across international headlines, the interview she gave where she cried on camera, talking about losing her baby, the foundation launch that put her face and name on a movement. "I regret the pain," she says finally, "the loss, the baby I'll never meet, but I don't regret where it led me, to you, to this purpose, to helping others. If I could go back and change it, prevent Damon from ever hurting me, I would, but I can't. So instead, I'm taking what he broke and building something beautiful from the pieces. Ji-won pulls her close. You're extraordinary. I'm a survivor, like thousands of other women. No, you're the survivor who chose to fight back, to demand justice, to build something transformative from ashes. That's extraordinary. They sit in comfortable silence for a moment. Then, Adeze says the words she's been holding for a week. I want to try again. Try what? A baby. Our baby. I'm ready. His eyes fill with tears. Are you sure? After everything? I'm terrified, but I'm ready to let hope in again. With you. Not to replace the daughter I lost, but to honor her by believing in the future. Her hand finds his. Will you try with me? Yes. His voice breaks. Yes, 1,000 times yes. They kiss under the stars, and for the first time in 3 years, Adeze lets herself imagine a baby cry, tiny fingers, a future built on hope instead of fear. 6 months pass. The Second Chances Fund officially launches with a gala at where else? The Grand Millennium Hotel. The same ballroom where Damon assaulted Adeze, the same marble floors, the same crystal chandeliers. But this time, the room is filled with survivors, advocates, donors, believers. 300 guests, media coverage from 5 major outlets, donations pouring in, $2.8 million in the first week. Adeze takes the stage. She's visibly pregnant now, 4 months along, with a daughter. The pregnancy has been monitored carefully, stress managed, every precaution taken. So far, everything is healthy. Perfect. 6 months ago, I was assaulted in this room, she begins. Her voice is steady, strong. By a man who had destroyed my life 3 years ago, a man who stole my savings, abandoned me when I was pregnant, and caused me to lose my first daughter through neglect and cruelty. The room is silent, listening.
I thought that assault was the worst moment of my life, but I was wrong. It was the best moment, because it exposed him. It connected me with 4 other women he'd exploited, and it gave us the opportunity to build something he could never destroy, a community of protection. She gestures to the board members sitting in the front row. Michelle, Yuki, Sophia, Rachel, now 5 months pregnant herself, glowing and healthy. The Second Chances Fund isn't about revenge, it's about prevention. It's about giving women the resources, the education, and the support they need to recognize predators before they strike, to escape exploitation before it destroys them, to rebuild their lives with dignity and power. The audience erupts in applause. In 6 months, we've helped 477 women escape financial abuse. We've recovered $1.7 million in stolen assets. We've provided emergency housing, legal aid, job training, and counseling. And we're just beginning. More applause. To every woman watching who's been exploited, abandoned, told you're worthless, you are not broken. You are not defined by what was taken from you. You are a survivor, and there's an army of us waiting to help you rise. Standing ovation. Ji-won in the front row with tears streaming down his face. His mother beside him, Park Soo-jin, now the foundation's board chair, fierce protector of her daughter-in-law and the cause. His brother Ji-woo running the foundation's technology infrastructure. The cameras flash, the donations pour in, and Adeze stands on that stage where she once bled and thinks, we won. Not because we destroyed him, but because we built something he could never take away. 1 year later, the foundation office has moved to permanent headquarters, a full floor in a building near Gangnam. Staff of 15, satellite offices opening in San Francisco, Tokyo, and Sao Paulo. Over 200 women helped, $4.3 million in recovered stolen assets, partnerships with law enforcement in 6 countries. Adeze sits at her desk reviewing case files. She's 8 months pregnant now.
Her daughter, named Zainab after Adese's mother, is due in 3 weeks. The pregnancy has been perfect, no complications, every milestone reached, every scan showing a healthy, thriving baby. This daughter will live, will grow up knowing her mother is a warrior, will learn that pain can become purpose. Jiwoo knocks on her office door. "Nuna, you should be resting, doctor's orders." "I'm pregnant, not broken," she smiles. "Just finishing these applications. We have 37 new intake requests this week. The team can handle it. You need to take care of yourself and my niece." News alert pops up on her computer. Damon Carter sentenced to 4 years in federal prison for wire fraud, theft, and financial exploitation. Multiple victims testified. Pattern of predatory behavior spanning 8 years. No possibility of parole. She reads it, feels nothing. He's irrelevant now. A closed chapter, a cautionary tale. Jiwon arrives with lunch, her favorite from the Nigerian restaurant in Itaewon. Doctor appointment in 1 hour. Ready? To find out if Zainab is still perfectly healthy? Always ready. They drive through Seoul, hands linked. At the hospital, the ultrasound technician smiles as she moves the wand across Adese's belly. Everything looks perfect. Strong heartbeat, good size. She's measuring right on schedule. Adese cries. Every appointment she cries, because every confirmation that her daughter is healthy feels like a miracle. That evening, the Second Chances Fund hosts its annual gala. Same ballroom, but this time, Adese isn't bleeding on the floor. She's on the stage, 8 months pregnant, radiant with purpose. Rachel stands beside her, holding her 6-month-old daughter, Minso, bright-eyed and perfect, the baby who survived because women warned each other, because the cycle broke. This room is where my life fell apart and came back together, where a man tried to destroy me, and where my husband showed me real love looks like, protection, justice, partnership. She looks at Jiwon in the front row. He blows her a kiss. Today, we've helped 247 women escape financial abuse. We've recovered $3.9 million in stolen assets. We've housed 89 women in crisis. We've prosecuted 12 predators across 4 countries. And we're just beginning. The crowd applauds. To every woman watching who's been exploited, abandoned, told you're worthless, you are not broken. You are not defined by what was taken from you. You are a survivor, and there's an army of us waiting to help you rise. After the gala, on the hotel rooftop where they stood on their wedding night, Jiwon holds Adese from behind, his hands on her pregnant belly. "Are you happy?" he asks. She looks out at Seoul, her city now, her home. Thinks about the foundation, the women they've saved, the baby growing inside her. The man's love pulled her from darkness. "Yes," she whispers, "I'm happy." "Good, because you deserve it, after everything." After everything, I learned that pain can become purpose, that survival can become strength, and that the best revenge isn't destruction, it's building something so beautiful, so powerful, so transformative that the person who tried to break you becomes irrelevant. 3 weeks later, Adese goes into labor. 22 hours. Difficult, but safe. And when they finally place her daughter on her chest, Zainab Adese Park, 7 pounds, 4 ounces, screaming and perfect, she cries tears of pure joy. "Hello, my love," she whispers. "I'm your mama, and I'm going to tell you stories about your grandmother, about surviving, about building empires from ashes, about women who protect each other. You're going to grow up knowing that you come from warriors and that no one gets to define your worth except you." Jiwon kisses her forehead, then their daughters. "Welcome to the world, Zainab. You have the strongest mother in Seoul." And in that hospital room, holding her living daughter while her husband holds them both, Adese thinks, this is the revenge. Not Damon's prison sentence, not his public humiliation, not his destroyed reputation. This life, this love, this baby, this purpose. Damon Carter tried to erase her. Instead, he gave her a reason to fight, and she won, not because she destroyed him, but because she built something he could never take away, a legacy of hope, a movement of protection, a daughter who will grow up in a world where women save each other before the damage is done. They say revenge in a dish best served cold, but justice is served with purpose, with healing, with the knowledge that your pain can become someone else's freedom. And that's exactly what Adeze built from the ruins of her worst nightmare. Freedom. For herself, for Rachel, for Michelle, Yuki, and Sophia, for the 247 women they've helped, for the thousands more who will find them. Damon's legacy isn't the money he stole or the lives he ruined. It's the movement he accidentally created when he picked the wrong woman to destroy.
Because Adeze Akafert didn't just survive, she transformed. And in doing so, she transformed the world for every woman who comes after her. That's the real revenge, and it's sweeter than anything else could ever be. If you made it to the end, drop a like if toxic exes getting destroyed by powerful husbands while the heroine builds an empire hits different. Comment, would you confront your toxic ex if you had the chance? And subscribe, because our stories keep coming, where deadly women become warriors and broken survivors build legacies. Where are you watching from? Let me know. This is Soul Heart Stories, where pain becomes purpose and revenge becomes redemption. See you in the next one, fam. Stay blessed.